A very good morning to class 7th. I am Kaushalya Rajpurohit and I will be teaching social science to you. As we all know that due to coronavirus guidelines, we are unable to attend the school and hence we are taking the online classes. From today, we are starting our online sessions and today I will be taking first chapter of history, the medieval world. Okay, so please be ready with your books and rough copies and let us start the chapter. The study of the past is divided into periods. The period that lies between ancient and modern period of history is known as middle or medieval period. Now, we can say that history is divided mainly into three parts: ancient, modern, and the medieval, that is the medieval era, or you can say the medieval world, right? So, history is mainly divided into three parts: the ancient, modern, and medieval world. Today, we are going to see the medieval world. In India, the medieval period stretched from the beginning of the 8th to the end of 18th century. That is for nearly 1100 years. So, medieval period started from the beginning of the 8th century and it ended up to the 18th century. So, it took a period of almost 1100 years. The 8th century is generally taken as the beginning because society, economy, polity, religion and culture underwent many changes during this century. So, 8th century is said to be beginning as there were so many changes in the society, economy, polity, religion, culture during this century. Similarly, the 18th century witnessed still more changes, marking the end of the medieval and the beginning of the modern era. The medieval period is divided into early medieval period and late medieval period. So, we can divide the medieval period into two parts: the early medieval period and the late medieval period. The early medieval period stretched from the 8th to 13th century. So, it was from 8th to 13th century, the early medieval period. The Palas, Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and the Rajputs were the powerful ruling dynasty during this period. So, during the early medieval period, the Palas, Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and Rajputs were the important ruling dynasties, right? So, this were Palas, Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and Rajputs were the important dynasty during the early medieval period, that is between 8th to 13th century. The late medieval period lasted from 13th to 18th century. It covered the rule of the Turks, the Afghans and the Mughals. So, this period just had the rulers as the Turks, the Afghans and the Mughal. So, we had a very short introduction of medieval world. So, let us recall what we learned today. History is divided mainly into three parts: ancient, medieval and modern world. The medieval period stretched from 8th to 18th century and it was the period of about 1100 years. Medieval period is divided mainly into two parts: the early medieval period and the late medieval period. The early medieval period started from 8th to 3rd and ended up to 13th century. Palas, Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Cholas and Rajputs were the important ruling dynasties during the early medieval period, and the late medieval period is between 13th to 18th century. The Turks, the Afghans and the Mughals were the important ruling dynasties during the late medieval period. Okay, so this is all for today. We will be taking our next class tomorrow. Thank you.